The days and weeks after the Madoff crisis were a whirlwind of activity and emotion for us. I remember the first time I'd ever heard the name Bernie Madoff was the day before the story hit the papers. We were at a tribute dinner in New York, attended by some of the largest Jewish donors in America, and you could actually see the word spreading from one side of the room to the other that this man named Madoff was broke and that much of his clients' money may be gone. There were people I saw that night who woke up the next morning to find out that their foundations were gone, evaporated. $50 million, $300 million, $1 billion. The amounts were staggering. People lost fortunes, and people lost jobs. We at JFN quickly decided that we needed to act. We sent an email to a group of our members that represented the largest of the Jewish foundations and suggested a meeting a few days later at Lance Lindblom's office in New York. The meeting, though, was not to focus on our own grantees or our own challenges. The meeting was to focus on the field as a whole and whether there was anything we could do individually and collectively to help. And I was immediately struck by two things. The first was how grateful people were that we called a meeting and set an agenda. Whether people could participate or not, and 30 people did on Christmas week, they were so relieved that someone was taking leadership at a time when they were feeling like they needed to be led, like they needed community. And the second was how selfless people were prepared to be. Don't forget, this was a time when the economy was already terrible, when they and their grantees were being stretched, when one woman who was at the meeting said to me, "I don't know if there's another Madoff out there, and we just haven't heard about it yet." And these people were prepared to focus on the field, on not-for-profits that they had never heard of, to work with funders that they had never met, just to try to do what needed to be done. We began the meeting by hearing from a young woman, a really terrific foundation professional, diligent, passionate about her work, who woke up Friday morning to discover that she was out of a job. She spent the past few days calling every single grantee and telling them that even though they had signed contracts from the foundation, even though they had employed staff and started their programs, they wouldn't be receiving any money. Each story was heartbreaking. Each example was gut-wrenching. After some discussion, the group decided on three paths. The first, since not-for-profits affected by Madoff were in sudden and severe distress, many of them needed time to get their houses in order.